Hi, welcome to the CSGO summary. I imagine that most people have lives and responsibilities and often can't make time to keep up with the ever-changing CSGO landscape. That being said, I don't have a life, and spend all of my days on the internet. My goal with this show is to make a single, digestible source for the multitudes of news stories that happen in this community every week. So, let's get started. A little over a week ago, we learned that Shox was working on putting together an all-French team, which would likely replace the current G2 roster. On the 23rd, there was a follow-up report from Flickshot saying that the roster was close to being finalized. As it currently stands, this new G2 roster would likely consist of Existence, Kenny's, Shox, Smiths, and Body, leaving Apex and MBK floundering. That leads us into our next topic, Cloud9. On the 24th, DK published an article claiming Cloud9 was in the market to replace FNS, citing MBK and Apex as two of the possible replacements. A mere 2 days later, Cloud9 made an official statement saying Finesse had been moved to the inactive roster. However, he still will be playing for the organization at the ECS finals. According to the statement, Cloud9 is still looking for offers, so the status of MBK and Apex is still yet to be determined. Finesse did make a statement on his Twitter account, which I will link in the description if you want some more light shed on the situation. Now, let's pop over to Asia, where Fierce Tiger was DQ'd from the Asia Minor. Faceit was able to find a connection between TV Girl, Fierce's recently added 5th, and an unnamed VAC banned Steam account. No connection was able to be made to Leo, the Fierce Tiger player, who was VAC banned only recently, causing the team to be disqualified from the Asia Championships. The Asia Minor secondary finals between VG Flash and Roar is expected to be held any day now. This week, Torqued found themselves in hot waters as their roster fell apart. On the 23rd, Brax announced on Twitter that he would be leaving the team, citing the need for a mental reset as the reason for his departure. He mentioned that he will still be considering team offers as they come in, so the hope for a comeback still shines through. 2 days later, AZK announced that he would also be leaving the roster, leaving Steel, Kusta, and Poyo high and dry with the tournament around the corner. Fortunately for them, according to a report published by Tolkien, Ghost Gaming are currently working to try and secure the Torqued trio, looking to replace Seb and VSA following Mainline's departure earlier in the month. However, this is still only in the rumor stage and is yet to be finalized or announced in any official way. Now onto something I imagine will be a recurring segment, look how ESEA fucked up this time. This time, we're going to talk about ESEA's exclusivity scandal. This is probably going to be a divisive topic, so I'll do my best to stay objective. On the 25th, Don Hassey tweeted that ESEA had been offering pro players $2,000 to exclusively play on ESEA. That in and of itself wouldn't have gone over well with the community, but in addition, anyone who took the deal would have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Don Hassey didn't cite any sources in his tweet, but both JW and ex-Sevo senior staff member Spangler confirmed the allegation. Spangler actually provided more information, saying ESEA had been using this strategy with big-name streamers for some time now. The community's reaction was to immediately condemn ESEA for their near constant shady business practices, which prompted Daze to voice his opinion. He took a stance defending ESEA, comparing their actions to a brand like Gatorade sponsoring an athlete. However, Daze missed the point of the community outcry. ESEA publicly sponsoring a player to exclusively play Rank S and pug on their service wouldn't be nearly as big of a deal. The issue is the NDAs. ESEA is trying to create a perception that professional players and high-level streamers think that their platform is better than the competition, when in actuality they're just getting paid to use it. If the consumer has no way of finding that out, that's obviously a significant issue. In much nicer news, it was announced on the 25th that Olof would be coming back to the active phase roster after taking a break for undisclosed personal reasons. Xizt, who had been standing in for him, makes his way back to his old home on Fnatic, replacing Lekro. Lekro is still under contract for Fnatic, so for now, he will remain a sub for the roster, unless a team is willing to pay his buyout. As a caveat before I start this story, bear in mind that I couldn't find any significant sources for this, so keep a healthy amount of skepticism in mind. On the 21st, the community took note that all the Space Soldiers players had removed all SS branding from their Twitter accounts. The next day, we learned from Richard Lewis that this action was in protest of the Space Soldiers organization attempting to remove Engine without the consent of the team. In addition to that, we also learned from Nell that the Space Soldiers players had got themselves into very poor contracts, with low salaries, no bio, and no end in sight. As of making this video, the Space Soldiers players have not yet updated their Twitter accounts, so presumably the situation is still ongoing.
What's up with the whole Space Soldiers thing? I heard they got upset at the management removing a player without consulting them, so what they're doing is that as a protest, they are removing the Space Soldiers branding and logo and stuff from their name until they let them bring the player back or something.
On the 25th, Flickshot published a report claiming that Xizt would be parting ways with Gambit, and Mir would be replacing him on a trial basis. The next day, we got confirmation from HLTV and an official statement on the Gambit.gg Russian site. Unfortunately, nothing from the official English end. Last and least, we have an update to the Dignitas roster. On the 24th, it was announced that PTR would be joining the roster, taking the off IGL role. That's interesting, I guess. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments or criticisms, please leave them down below. If you're interested in this kind of content, subscribe and follow me on social media if that interests you. Until next time, I've been KZ3, and have a good one.